My name is Maria. I am from a small town in Mexico. Life was simple and happy there. I lived with my parents and my younger brother, Carlos. We did not have much money, but we had love. One day, everything changed. My father lost his job at the factory. He tried to find work, but there were no jobs in our town. My mother sold homemade food at the market, but it was not enough. We were worried about how we would survive. One night, I heard my parents talking in the kitchen. My father said, "We need to go to America. There are more jobs there." "We can have a better life," my mother agreed, but she was scared. "What about Maria and Carlos?" she asked. "They don't speak English." My father said, "They will learn. We all will learn. It is our only hope." The next day, my father made plans for us to go to America. We packed our bags with clothes and memories. We said goodbye to our friends and family. It was hard to leave, but we had to be brave. We traveled for many days. It was a long and difficult journey. We finally arrived in a big city in America. Everything was different. The buildings were tall, and the streets were busy. People spoke in English, and I did not understand. My father found a small apartment for us. It was not like our home in Mexico, but it was a place to live. My parents started looking for jobs. They worked very hard, but they still smiled because they believed in a better future. I started going to school. On the first day, I was very nervous. I did not know anyone, and I could not speak English. My teacher, Mrs. Johnson, was kind. She smiled at me and said, "Welcome, Maria." I did not understand her words, but I knew she was friendly. At school, I tried to learn English. It was hard. The words sounded strange. I felt alone because I could not talk to the other kids. I missed my friends in Mexico, but I did not give up. I wanted to make my parents proud. Every day, I studied English. I listened to my teacher and repeated the words. I practiced writing and reading. At night, I watched English TV shows with subtitles. Slowly, I started to understand more. One day, something special happened. In the cafeteria, I saw a girl sitting alone. She looked sad. I wanted to talk to her, but I was scared. Then I remembered my father's words, "Be brave." I walked up to her and said, "Hi, my name is Maria. What is your name?" The girl looked at me and smiled. "My name is Lily," she said. We started talking. It was not easy, but we tried. We used simple words and gestures. Lily became my first friend in America. She helped me with my English, and I taught her some Spanish. As the weeks passed, my English improved. I could understand my teacher better. I started doing well in my classes. My parents were very happy. They always encouraged me and Carlos to keep learning. One evening, my father came home with great news. He found a better job at a construction company. They needed workers who spoke Spanish and English. My father was proud because his English was getting better too. My mother also started taking English classes at the community center. Life was still hard, but we were together and hopeful. My parents worked long hours, but they never complained. They always told me and Carlos to focus on our studies. They believed that education was the key to a better life. One day, our teacher announced a big project. We had to write a story in English and present it to the class. I was scared, but I wanted to try. I decided to write about my journey from Mexico to America. It was a story close to my heart. I worked very hard on my story. Lily helped me with the difficult words. When it was my turn to present, my hands were shaking. I took a deep breath and started reading. At first, I was nervous, but then I saw my teacher and classmates smiling. They were interested in my story. When I finished, everyone clapped. I felt proud and happy. After the presentation, Mrs. Johnson said, "Maria, your story is wonderful. You have come so far. Keep working hard, and you will achieve great things." Her words gave me hope. Learning English was not easy, but it opened many doors for me. I could talk to more people and understand more things. It helped me and my family in many ways, but this is not the end of my story. In the next part, I will tell you how English truly saved my life in a way I never expected. Stay tuned to find out what happened next. As time passed, our lives started to improve. My father's new job at the construction company was stable, and my mother's English classes were helping her find better opportunities. I continued to work hard in school, and my English kept getting better. Carlos also made new friends and was doing well in his classes. One sunny afternoon, something unexpected happened. I was walking home from school with Carlos when we saw a crowd gathered near our apartment building. There were police cars and an ambulance. I felt a knot in my stomach. I was scared something bad had happened. We pushed through the crowd and saw that there was an accident. A man was lying on the ground, and he looked hurt. People were talking, but no one seemed to know what to do. I noticed that the man was bleeding and needed help immediately. I remembered the first aid lessons I learned in school. I knew I had to do something. I told Carlos to stay back, and I ran towards the man. I tried to talk to him, but he was in pain and could not speak clearly. I turned to the crowd and asked, "Does anyone have a phone to call for help?" A woman handed me her phone. I called 911 and told the operator about the accident. I used my best English to explain what had happened and where we were. The operator said help was on the way. While waiting for the ambulance, I tried to keep the man calm. I remembered some first aid techniques and used a piece of cloth to press on his wound to stop the bleeding. I kept talking to him, telling him that help was coming and that he would be okay.
Finally, the ambulance arrived. The paramedics took over and thanked me for my help. They said my quick actions had made a big difference. I felt relieved and proud. I never thought that learning English would help me save someone's life.
That night, my parents were very proud of me. They said I was brave and that my English skills had made a real impact. It felt good to know that all my hard work was paying off in ways I never imagined. But the story does not end there. The next day, I went to school, and my teacher, Mrs. Johnson, had heard about what happened. She praised me in front of the whole class and gave me a special award for bravery and community service. I felt shy but very happy. A few weeks later, I received a letter. It was from the man I had helped. His name was Mr. Thompson, and he wanted to thank me. He wrote that he was very grateful for what I did and that he wanted to meet me and my family. My parents and I went to visit Mr. Thompson. He was now fully recovered and welcomed us warmly. He told us that he owned a small business and wanted to offer my father a job. He said he needed someone trustworthy who could speak both Spanish and English. My father was overjoyed. This new job meant better pay and better working conditions. Mr. Thompson also offered to help my mother find work. He knew many people in the community and was happy to recommend her. My mother soon found a job at a local store where she could use her English skills and continue to improve. Our lives started to change for the better. My parents were happier, and we felt more settled in our new country. I continued to focus on my studies and dreamed of going to college one day. I knew that learning English was the key to many opportunities. Carlos also took his studies seriously. He looked up to me and wanted to do well in school too. We both know that education was our path to a bright future. One day, I received another surprise. Mrs. Johnson told me that I had been selected to participate in a special program for students who showed great promise. It was a summer camp where we could learn more and prepare for college. I was excited but nervous. I had never been away from my family for so long. My parents encouraged me to go. They said it was a great opportunity, and they were very proud of me. I decided to be brave and take the chance. The summer camp was amazing. I met many students from different places and made new friends. We studied hard but also had fun. At the end of the camp, there was a big ceremony. Each student had to give a speech in front of everyone. I was nervous, but I remembered how far I had come. I stood up and spoke about my journey from Mexico to America, how learning English had changed my life, and how I helped Mr. Thompson. When I finished, everyone clapped. I felt a sense of accomplishment and knew that I was on the right path. My English had truly saved my life and opened many doors for me and my family. When I returned home, my parents were waiting for me with big smiles. They hugged me and told me how proud they were. We celebrated together, knowing that our hard work and determination were paying off. As the years went by, I continued to excel in school. I got into a good college and pursued my dream of becoming a teacher. I wanted to help other students, just like Mrs. Johnson helped me. I knew that with hard work and the right support, anyone could achieve their dreams. Learning English was not just about speaking a new language. It was about opening doors to new opportunities, making connections with people, and helping others. It showed me that I could be brave and make a difference in the world. My journey was not easy, but it was worth it. And I know that with determination and courage, anyone can overcome obstacles and achieve great things. So if you are learning English, keep going. It might just save your life too.
Subscribe to this channel if you want to speak English like a native.